Brooks.
Hey, so this is your boy here, Len-Dor here, back again with Rhythmic Solace. I have a special guest tonight, my boy Rhino. Rhino, let everyone know how to say your name, bro. Like, because when I got your name, I felt like I was speaking to a transformer, bro, like some form of Decepticon. It's pretty dope.
No, it's Rhinoceros Funk, man. It's a myth. It's not even a myth. It's a beast that's been around out there. It's rhinoceros. It's a rhino. They're in children's tales. They're in old African mythology. It's a rhinoceros. But I add the funk because the funk is such a myriad of things. The funk is disdain. The funk is that griminess. The funk is opposition. The funk is abstract. The funk is me, Rhinoceros Funk.
All right. So I guess you're that type of dude. You have a little bit of a rebellious streak in you. So tell me, at what age that you started getting into hip hop, though? When was the first time you pick up that pen and realize you just want to fight the power?
1986.
God damn.
I did a show in my elementary school about Martin Luther King. And I got some friends to do some beatboxing. I don't remember how good it was. They probably sucked because they were only like 7 or 8.
Right.
And I'm sure now they're homeless and drug addicts. I'm only kidding. But it was 1986, and I remember writing something down. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this." It was like a kind of like a talent show, and I did a whole poem about Martin Luther King.
Right.
And ever since then, I've just been always on stage, bro. I mean, it's something I've always loved to do. I mean, but it's not to the point that I'm like one of these people that needs to go to like America's Got Talent or have TV cameras on me when I take a shit. No, I mean it's something that it's a craft that I take very personally. I only try to relay, you know what I mean, what's conveyable to an intellectual audience, someone who can understand and respect what I'm doing and what I'm saying, versus someone who wants to go out there and just sell every bit of their fucking soul for 3 minutes of fame and a Twix candy bar.
So let me get this straight. So who was that artist that made you pick up the pen? Who influenced you? Who gave you that you know what I'm saying? Because of this dude.
I mean, we're talking 86, man. 86 was a very pivotal year in hip hop. We're talking about this is BDP. This is Rakim. This is fucking Public Enemy.
Right.
This is a very different sound in hip hop. You know what I mean? Before that, I mean, I said this shit on my radio show last night. Shouts to Gorilla Grooves Radio, Fred Ones, Indiana Mix, every Tuesday. GorillaGroovesRadio.com, everything. Puto. But I was saying last night, man, I mean, I was compared to every fat person on TV in the 1980s, man. If it was fucking Norm from Cheers, people will call me Norm. If it was fucking, I mean, the fat guy who stole Pee-wee's bike, let me get it right on your bike, Pee-wee. So, I mean, it was either commit suicide or come up with jokes. So I came up with jokes. But my point is that, I mean, even like my aunt's husband would call me fat boy, you know, and would do that shit. I mean, 1986 was a very different time where hip hop had a different sound prior to that. But in 86, you start seeing this ill consciousness. You start seeing these new rhyming patterns. Yeah. And it really intrigued me. And you know what I mean? My dad had a grocery store in the Bronx. So the Bronx was I mean, it was playing shit out the radios. And when Criminal Minded came out, it was just like, oh shit, that shit sounds crazy. So it was a new feel, and it was something that I mean, I had an attraction for words, man. I mean, I learned how to read very early. Shout out to my mom, buying me books, and I learned how to read very early. And I had a little record player, so I liked sounds, and I liked words. So I would just simple words. I mean, it wasn't like I was you know, I was jotting down fucking Nobel Peace Prize poetry. No, it was very simple words.
All right. So let me get this right. So judging from that era of KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Rakim and all those dudes. Then how much did you think that played a huge part in all your projects that you personally personalized for yourself, all your albums, your mixtapes,
Still, I have a song. I check the video. It's called "Clap Your Hands." At the end, I mean, it's a song about clapping your hands. Very fucking simple. But at the end, I said, even Rakim confirmed you should clap to this. And I use samples. I still use samples from that era, dude. I still use verses from that era. You know what I'm saying? Shit that fucking 40 years later and cats still can't catch up to it. Cats still talking about ops and drugs. Like, no, y'all don't have no ops. You ain't got no drugs. Shut the fuck up.
All right. So now that brought up a very good important point for me, though. And I always ask a lot of people this, though. What do you think is missing in this? What do you think is missing in this era when it comes to hip hop music? What does Rhino
reading, writing, arithmetic? These motherfuckers are dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb and they're fucking stupid. That's the problem. They don't read about themselves. They don't read about their own history. They don't read about anything outside of themselves. Look at these grown-ass men who refer to self-fulfillment in the sense of buying shit. Okay. That's a hoe. I was taught that early on. That's a hoe. That's a hoe.
Okay.
If you don't know anything about yourself, knowledge yourself, bro. I learned that through hip hop.
Right.
I didn't go to school in America and learn knowledge of self. I was taught knowledge of self by MCs. And none of these cats that are on these mainstream media platforms have knowledge of self, man. Go on your Instagram. Why the fuck is Hip Hop DX always talking about some dude in jail getting slipped drugs by another dude? That's whole shit.
Yeah, because
you can't be talking about a culture when you're not trying to uplift it.
Right.
You can't lead a culture with idiots.
Right.
And that's the problem. And if anybody has any problem with that, talk to me about it, because I am willing to have a discussion about it. I am not here to fight anybody, but think about it. There's no knowledge of self. You can't provide an entire catalog when your music is about purchasing items and trying to kill someone and selling drugs. It's ridiculous.
Well, you do have a valid point with that one. I agree with you 100 and everything% with that. I think hip hop right now has gone to basically the dogs right now. It's like a candy ad right now for everything. Everyone is trying to get the bag, and they're aware they're the quick fixes and quick licks is what they're doing. Just the other day, what's his name again? Boogie. So what hoodie with the boogie with the hoodie, whatever his name is. He performed here at a joint that I work at here, and I was like, golly, bro. But yet the young kids, the young ones in this era, bro, they absorb these dudes as if like it's like nothing. So it's kind of.
I mean, let me give you this. First and foremost, I've never heard that you agree with somebody 1,000 and something. That's kind of the way your number of agreements was very rare. I've never heard that. But let me tell you this, right? Here's the thing. I've worked in every single level of education. When I'm talking about like from children now to the college level.
Right.
Here is how you grasp a child's attention. Someone who's underdeveloped, right? We first and foremost we have to understand that the human frontal lobe, the real understanding of maturity, doesn't develop to the age of 24.
Right.
24. So what are we doing when we have children? We sing to them rudimentary ditties. Right? Simple shit. That's how you remember the ABCs, right? Through a simple song.
Yeah.
So if you can enchant, that's a beautiful word. If you can enchant these people with small rudimentary, elementary ditties, then of course they're going to be enticed, right? I have a niece. I can't have children because I probably drive them crazy.
Right.
But if I have a niece and I tell her, like, well, when you were 5, 4, I remember you used to like Barney. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you like Barney now? And she goes, no, I'm older. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a range of intelligence in which you're fed, and then you're being made a customer through that range of intelligence. It's not impressive.
Wow.
Anybody, I could do it. Well, you want to do it? Bing, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong. Let's make $1 million. It's garbage.
All right. So, you want to tell me about your new project that you're dropping right now, bro? That project is kind of like that you have impending right now.
So,
what is about?
right now right now we dropping this week, and this week I mean by February 24th we're dropping I'm dropping 2 singles with my man Mike Titan. The project's gonna be is together we'll call it Titan Funk. I try to do that with people that I work with, just to kind of, it's like, you know, like kind of an homage to Doom type shit.
Right.
But go back a little bit, man. Go back in my catalog. Once again, my name is Rhino Funk, man. I resigned to BX, originally from Washington Heights, in Manhattan. But Gorilla Grooves Radio, been doing that. With my man Fred One since 2015. But we did all the lyrics since 2009,
Right.
and then I've been doing radio since '98. But go back and listen to a couple of joints. I mean, just even back to last year when I dropped Agents of Reform, my man Yazid. Again, I think one of the most politically in-depth albums that I've ever heard. And I DJ, so I listen to a lot of music. I have a show. I listen to a lot of music. But I think me and my man Yazid did a wonderful job in providing some sort of where do you stand politically in this country or on the planet. God damn it. And then Silent Funk. Silent Funk we dropped last summer. Me and my man Silent Someone, and again, man, Silent Someone to me is a person that should be teaching at Juilliard with his production. I mean, I think his production is somewhat of a hip hop ghetto opera. It's fantastic. But me and him work very, very well together. So that's out. And then just like last year. And then this year, with my man Mike Titan Funk. We're dropping that next month. But this week we pulled out Guns. We're gonna drop Guns, and it's called Tons of Guns. And it's I mean it's a what it is a an editorial really on this country's fascination and disgusting problem with guns. I mean we have more mass shootings than we do than anything else. It's just I mean in January. The month of January wasn't even done yet, and we had 70 mass shootings.
Yeah, bro,
I mean, this is something that I think that I would love to live in a world where someone like you just reacted, right? And we can say, holy cow, that's wrong, right? Instead of having other people that go, more guns, we are living in insanity. And this is what we try to portray in this song. And then we have
notice him cutting you off, but I think that point you just made there, where people are basically trying to motivate more the negative part. Do you think that's because people are abusing their rights though? I think, you know, when everything is pro-choice and a government is telling people that, you know what, they could be whatever they want or do whatever they want, people start to get more and more selfish daily. They're not thinking about the collective, they're thinking about themselves. You know, so
you have a point there. You have an absolute point. I mean, that's why we have lobbyists, right? These are people that went to law school, and when they are offered a nice, healthy salary packet to work for a gun manufacturer, of course they're gonna be like, yeah, I want to be richer. I mean, I've seen a documentary where a guy's like, yo, man, if I can have a cigarette, there's like about lobbyists. If I can have a cigarette machine in children's cafeterias, I would, right? Because it means more money. But that's a problem about having a selfish economic system, right? And then you have people. My point is that you're right. When people can be bought, anything can be sold.
Yep, morality.
And that's an issue.
It comes back down to morality, right? Everyone's morality needle adjusts in according to what they feel. I think that's. I mean, I studied that in school. I have a degree in operational health and safety, but we did a lot of behavioral science and psychology in it. And one thing we have learned to observe with human beings is that we are very selfish in nature. We don't ever think about the bigger collective at all. So I think,
but we're not. We're not. That's a beautiful point, right? But this is a philosophy when it comes to morality and understanding human morality. We're not. We're not. People say that, and that's been an argument that's been going on for centuries, that we're greedy in nature, but we're not. Because if we were, then we would not have family. That's my argument, right? If we were selfish in nature, then we would not have children, or we would have children and throw them away, not nurture them. Look at the human species. The baby is the fragilest animal on the fucking planet.
That's a valid.
No other animal needs so much attention.
Yeah.
In order to survive.
But no, that's
even a mama bird goes, "Hey, fly away, motherfucker." A shark is born swimming. We need mommy to take care of us for like 18 years. We ain't shit. So it kind of goes back to crush that. I want to crush that from human beings, because we are not selfish. We can make a society in which we can use our natural giving of love. Because I don't even know you, bro, but I don't want to harm you. I don't want to exploit you. I want to love you, right?
Right.
We can use that and create a fucking system around it. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I agree what you're saying. From that perspective, what you're talking about from the nurturing, that's called nature to nurture. From that nature point of view, I get it. I understand when it comes to human beings and stuff like that. I think for some reason, too, some of us too, we can't reach that point in life where, I remember, I'll give you an example. Like this weekend, he has where I work, we have like these young kids who like coming to where we are. They making money through the wazoo and they're doing illegal stuff.
Yeah.
And they have no moral construct in their mind.
Yeah.
To understand, listen, I can't kill. For some of these kids, bro, their culture, wherever they come from, what they learn to manifest over a period of time, I think it kind of makes a lot of them sort of impotent.
No, of course, it definitely does. But I mean, that's being fed. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's being reinforced by the system.
Yeah,
right?
By the environment.
I mean, I got TV on right now, dude, and I keep the TV on. I mean, I by training, I'm a social scientist. Right. I keep the TV on, and it's for senses of observance. And you can't put anything on TV that doesn't have the weaponry, the money, because achieving money in this society is maximum glorification. Like, I mean, we praise idiots because they're wealthy. We praise idiots because they're wealthy. The society creates that image that you have to suck a wealthy man's bing bong because he's smart. Because only because he has money is he smart. No, that man exploited. You know who are also wealthy? Slave owners.
Yep.
Slave owners. And some of us in society still praise them.
Of course. So from what I gather in that little debate, well, I wouldn't say debate, but we kind of agree on a lot of things there. How does
intellectual conversation?
Yeah, how does that parlay into your music? And now you got me excited now, because I'm one of those type of artists where I like to write about conscious efforts and situations and stuff like that. So how does that take a profound impact on you?
Every single bit of it, doggy. I mean, I'm the only person who's ever used a line to say, use terrorism to fight poverty. Again, man, I do a lot of studying of history, and everything that I learn goes into what I write. Okay. But it's also very hip hop, right? I just I wrote a line right now that says well-trained, classical to gut bucket.
Have you ever got that?
Yo, dude, I'm spinning a line. You can't cut me off on a line. I'm doing a line right now. So, hey, I'll forgive that one. The line goes, classically trained. No, it goes well-trained, classical to gut bucket. Right. Walk with the moxie, boppy, and what of it? So not necessarily everything have to be historical, but I'm well trained in hip hop syllable breaking down, and I study MCs, but then I tend to use what I learned into those rhyme patterns. You know what I mean? Well, it's not all preachy revolutionary shit.
But if you're, what is amazing for this whole conversation for me is that you're a teacher. You have quite a wealth of experience as a imparter of knowledge to young ones. Has any of your students came across your music, and how did they respond when they heard it?
Nope, not one.
Not one?
I had a dude in my PhD class, in a PhD program that I was in, and he saw my laptop, and my laptop had mad stickers. And the following week, he said, "Yo, I seen your laptop," and I googled that shit, and I found all your videos, and I was like, "Oh man, that's peace." But that's a person who likes to do research.
Right.
But students, I mean, I even say I'll be talking to students, and I'll say something and it rhymes. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna use that." But no one ever says for what. They just, I mean, they're so into the garbage that's in their head now that they don't see that our world exists. They don't know our world exists.
No.
This world that we have of underground hip hop, of conscious hip hop, to them, they're like, what? Right? It's beyond their imagination.
Yep.
So I keep it there. I don't force myself on anyone. I don't need you to know who I am. I live all right. I'm good. I don't need that glorification. I don't need you to think we're friends. I don't need you to like me. I'm good. I'm good.
I think though it's a responsibility at the same time for us too as artists to kind of like let them hear what is different. You know, as you rightfully said, you don't throw it down their throat and force them. But I think it's a responsibility of us as well to let them know that there's something different. I think from what you just told me there, it's amazing how to hear how passionate you are when it comes to this level of impartism, and I think it's amazing though. I think because that's something I've thought was lost. Like even today, I was sitting down listening to Sean P. I remember like, P. Like I mean, P used to say a lot of little witty, little funny, little shit in between his stuff, but the technique that he would use is parallel to none. His style was flawless in my eyes. I think what it is, I think the style of music now compared to back then, very distracting, because when you look at what they're playing now, and you just all these kids just go into this trance of drill and garbage. There's no breaking or change in their attention. So
I mean, but it does provide inspiration. Shout out to my man Agala, the God, man. I was interviewing him last night on the show, and we were discussing this, man. Like, yo, dude, like, it provides inspiration. You know how much inspiration I get on a daily basis if I see some dude just shouting out some bullshit rhymes. I'm like, and real quick, like I used to battle MC as well. I used to battle rap. So I'll hear that shit. I'm like, ooh, and I'll come at something up and we write it down. And it's not necessarily geared towards that kid who's hearing it, who's been brain fucked. No, it's to the entire culture that they're developing there. That corporate culture of intellectual suppression, right? Because that's what it is, right? When I grew into this world, and I fell in love with it, I fell in love with actual Afrocentricity, right? Like I tell people all the time, man, I learned of Mumia, I learned of Malcolm X, and I'm pointing because I have these paintings on my wall, right? I learned of these people because of hip hop.
Right.
Now, yo, my man, you can't name anybody, and they'll be like, who?
You know, I think you just named your next album, bro. Intellectual suppression. I think
intellectual suppression. That's a great one. I gotta write that down.
I think write that down. I think that's the hell of a project name.
Dude, we're in the world.
That's the hell of a name of a project name. Intellectual suppression. Yeah, keep that.
Dude, I just saw Vice put out this thing on social media that there's a far right group talking about executing doctors and teachers. Holy cow! If that is not only intellectual suppression but intellectual warfare, I mean, how dumb do you have to be to say, yo, let's go out there and kill our smartest people?
It's sad.
Are we giving way and the rise of the dummy?
I mean, I get what you're saying wholeheartedly, bro. I think wow, you just
intellectual suppression, bro. It's coming out.
You just exploded a whole bunch of like yeah, I agree with this dude. It makes sense. Like I mean, like I think people don't pay attention to these things. I think people don't to pay attention to these things. I
mean, we're not even taught proper history in high schools and elementary school.
No.
We're not taught economical survival in schools.
Yeah.
We're not taught. I teach classes on Latin American studies, right? And my class is just full of Latinos and Black kids, and every one of them in the beginning of the semester says, "I just want to learn more about myself," because we never taught who the fuck you are. You're always taught to be the soldier for the system that's already in place. And that's a major problem. You can't ask someone to understand themselves when they've been taught to not understand themselves.
No, but that's
problem, dude. It's a problem. But hey, I'm not again, I'm just saying this so that we understand. And then you can better understand my rhymes.
Damn.
If that's too much for you, then go ahead. Go back and listen to Barney. And let Barney take you on a trip to Dumbsville. And when you're in Dumbsville, buy a 40-ounce bottle of stupid juice and drink that stupid juice, you and your children, and enjoy. Enjoy debt. Enjoy the beautiful smell of chemical air, and go kill yourself.
Well, the incredible part is that, you know what, though, I think as time progresses in this, some people will consider it the matrix that we're living in. I think people now just don't want to wake up. Some people are very much happy in the misery that they're in because it's what they know. You know? It's what they know, and they believe that it's never going to change. It's sad, bro. You know what I mean? It's really
but it's listen. It's a wild thing what you just said, in the sense that people are happy in their own misery. How could you be happy in your own misery? But I know people like that, right? My thing is that, hey, maybe you and I can't go out there and change the system today, but as long as you understand, right, then there isn't this heavy thing of fault. It relieves some of the fault off of you. I don't want to get too crazy, but it's a theoretical point. That, I mean, we have the evidence with much of ethnographic work, and as well as the viewing of the economy and the pressures on family when it comes to this system of this neoliberal system in which we live in, right?
Yep.
It places a lot of fault on people. And then that's what creates the rising levels of depression, the rising levels of all these psychological or behavior, whatever. I don't want to insult anybody, but the point is that the economy plays a huge portion on your mental health. That's my point.
Yes,
right?
It does.
And in order to, if you want to relieve some of that mental health, learn what the economy is, and then you can understand that it's really not your fault.
Right? You have to adapt. I think what you're talking about too is you're talking about the basically what's the term they use, boy? The economical influences of how it happens. You know, I mean, the economical motivations of what happens as an environment that really pushes us to certain extremes to make some really stupid decisions. I believe a lot of people. I believe a lot of people have made decisions off of social media, and social media is one of the biggest drivers of economic influence. Biggest drivers, bro.
Yeah. I mean, look at, I saw this. I don't know if you watched Game Theory on HBO. He did a piece yesterday. I don't know if it was yesterday, but I caught it yesterday on this new thing called Overtime, where now they're paying children, like 16-year-old kids, to giving them like $100,000 so that they can do like jams and just be like this kind of like this minstrel show of basketball. And I'm like, and the guy's like, yo, they're children. And you know what? He's absolutely correct. They're fucking children. You are impeding their development. You're stunting their development so that you can maximize profit and exploit them on a social media platform. And now what does that do? It then has other children thinking that by the time they're 15 or 16, that they could be the next dude to get $100,000. You know what the fuck $100,000 is, yo? It's garbage money.
Yep.
because it's going to mess you up. And then you can't even get a real job when you're 18, 19, 20, and they don't want you no more. The NBA is not going to pick you up because you have no foundational training. They show the training these kids have to go through. And most of the training is how to talk to cameras, how to reply to social media, how to look, how to dress. That is not the skills you need to survive in the real world.
Yeah, because we're in an age of where everything is digital, right? So everyone believes that, you know what, that social media is the future, and that's your biggest resume, right? There are a lot of people put a lot more effort in social media and their jobs or even their crafts. People, like, there are a lot of artists and rappers I've witnessed who have done that. Like, they put a lot more effort in how they look online instead of what they're imparting in their talent. It's funny.
I mean, again, I completely agree. We're in a world of how many followers you got versus how good are you.
Yep.
Like, how many followers do you have instead of how good are you? It's crazy, right? I mean, I couldn't imagine like Miles Davis saying, "Yo, how many followers you got?" Right? I couldn't imagine Louis Armstrong going, "Hey, how many followers you got?" No, he'd be like, "Yo, man, pull out your horn and play."
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, bro.
Like my Louis Armstrong impression. How many followers you got? I love Louis, man. This is the documentary that came out. He said, he goes, "I love you." Oh yeah.
I think we reach. I don't know, man. The kids really not understanding what's really happening. That's what I'm hoping guys like you with this type of knowledge and this type of passion. And you know what I mean? That's some of the things I try to strive when it comes to my music. I hope you all continue to really and truly, you know, keep pushing back at the system, bro, to show the truth in your own little way.
In your own little way. It doesn't, you do, again, yes, in our own little way, man, with the pen, right? Doing it with the pen, right? Yeah. I am in a very comfortable apartment. I go to work. I do my but we're pushing back with the pen. I mean, this is not the era. I mean, I live in the Bronx, man. I'm not going to the mountains. I'm not buying weapons. I'm not doing that, government. I'm not, just with the pen. And very few people are listening, so don't put a file out on me. But just with the pen. And hopefully you guys listen. And if you agree, keep listening. And if you don't, then put it to the side. Or you know what? Better yet, leave a comment.
Right.
Leave a comment and tell people how whack you think I am. But when you're writing it, you have to remember that you don't know how to write. So when you're writing it, people are going to know how whack you are at writing. So they're going to think that you're dumb and I'm good. So do that. Do that.
All right. So where people can find your music, bro? Where could we find your music? Where we could find it?
RHINOCEROS. That is the word rhinoceros. It is an ungulate, a huge animal with a horn made of keratin. It's a herbivore. It doesn't eat meat, but it's being slaughtered at a crazy rate. So my name is Rhinoceros Funk, RHINOCEROSFUNK. Anywhere, just Google it. Just Google it. I am that accessible. Don't know wwws. Don't believe in it. Just Googleize me, B.
All right.
Rhinoceros Funk.
All right, bro. Well, here what, bro. I really appreciate this, bro. Thank you for giving me the time and imparting all this knowledge. Yeah. Hope we connect soon, bro.
Definitely, man. Double salute. Peace and love, man. Gorilla Grooves Radio, Rhinoceros Funk.
Brooks.